This is Note-Taking Guide 10.3. We're going to find the volume of a rectangular pyramid and also the volume of triangular prisms today. So when we're doing a pyramid, the formula is 1/3 the area of the base times the height. The base is usually on a pyramid a rectangle or square of some kind, which means that would be length times width to find the area of that. The volume here of a triangular prism would be area of the base times the height. If it's a triangular prism here, the area of the base would be a triangle, which would be 1/2 base times height, and then I'd times it by the length. So I'm really just going to learn to plug my stuff into these two formulas as I go throughout this note-taking guide. So on my first example here, this is a pyramid. My pyramid formula is 1/3 the area of the base times the height. Again, the base here is a rectangle. So I know I'm going to do 1/2 length times width on the area of the base, and then times it by the height of the pyramid. So 1/3 the length and the width, so 7 times 8, times the height of the pyramid, which is 6. We're just going to punch that in our calculator and call that good. So punch it in and see what you get. And when I did that, I got 112. So my answer is 112 units cubed because we're in a volume. All right, the next one here asks me to do the same thing. So we're doing 1/3 the area of the base times the height. Again, the base is a rectangle. So that would be length times width times the height of the whole pyramid. So 1/3 of 8 times 8 for length times width. And then the height is 9. So this is just a matter of plugging it in your calculator. And when you do that, you would have 8 times 8 times 9 times 1/3, and that's 192. We're a volume here again, so centimeters cubed. This next one is a triangular prism. I can tell because both ends of my prism are triangles, and then in between I have my height. So this is my height right here. I have to find the volume of this by doing the area of the base times the height. The base of this is a triangle, and the formula for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And then I'm going to start writing this one as an uppercase H, so you remember it's the height of the entire prism. So 1/2 of the base, which is 15, times the height, which is 8. And then times the height of the whole prism, which is 12. Punch that in your calculator. And when you do that, you get 94.8. So the volume of this prism is 94.8 centimeters cubed. One more example like this on the next one. This too is a triangular prism. You can tell because both ends of it are triangles. So again, the formula for that is going to be the area of the base times the height, but the base here is a triangle, and the formula for a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. Then I'm going to times it by the height of the prism. So 1/2 of 12 times 16, because that makes up the triangle. And then times the height of the prism, which is in between the two triangles, which is 10. Punch that in your calculator, and you should be good to go. When I do that, I get 960 centimeters cubed because it is a volume. All right, a couple of practical applications here, it looks like. We're going to figure out how much... it says how much times more sunscreen is in bottle B than in bottle A, which is the better buy. And it says use the formula for the volume of the pyramid to estimate the amount of sunscreen in each bottle. So we're going to do 1/2 the area of the base times the height. The base is a rectangle again, so 2 times 1. And the height of this one is 6, so times by 6. That will be compared to this other bottle, which would be 1/3 times 3 times 1.5, and then times 4. And I'm just going to write times 4 up here, seems I can't fit it there. And then just punch it in on my calculator to see the two different volumes here. So here I get 4. And here I get 6. So how much bigger is it? Well, that would be a 2 to 3 ratio there. So 2/3 bigger. And then it says which of the bottles is the better buy. Well, that would be determined by price per ounce probably. So we would take bottle A, which would be $9.96, and divide that by the number of volume, or the ounces in this, or inches in it, which is 4. And then we would take the other bottle, which is 14.40, and divide it by its volume, which is 6. So 9.96 divided by 4 gives you 249. And then 14.4 divided by 6 gives you 2.4. So which one is the better buy? The $2.40 per volume compared to the $2.49. So bottle B is the better buy. All right, one last little question here. It says, what is the shape of the base of the TP and how can you tell? Well, I think that for the most part we understand that TPs are cones, and so we're going to say that the base of the cone is a circle. And then it says the TP's height is about 10 feet, estimate the volume. So we know the cone's volume formula is 1/3 pi r squared h. So we just have to plug those into the formula to figure that out. Maybe another good guesstimate of what this would be would even to do this as a rectangle and do it. You could probably do that as a pyramid. So if you decide that you want to do this as a cone, you could do it here. If you wanted to do it as a pyramid, you could use the pyramid formula. That pyramid formula would be the volume equals the area of the base times the height, with the 1/3 out front still. So depending on what shape you think this is and how you can tell what shape it is, you could do either of those formulas to estimate the TP's volume.